Alright, dreamers and deep thinkers. Today we're diving into the minds of the NF types. The idealists, the visionaries, the ones who cry at commercials and somehow just know when your vibe is off. But let's get real. Being an NF is both beautiful and terrifying. On one hand, you see the deep connections, the hidden meanings, the unspoken truths. On the other hand, you're basically a walking emotional sponge in a world that feels like it was designed by SJs and NTs, who don't know what emotional intelligence even means. So today, we're breaking down how NFs see the world, why it's both magical and horrifying, and whether or not they're just too soft for this cruel existence. Spoiler, they're actually way stronger than you think. Let's get into it. First things first, what even is an NF? If you're new to MBTI, NF types are the ones with intuition, N, and feeling, F, in their function stack. That means they don't just think about the world, they feel it, interpret it, and romanticize the hell out of it. The four NF types are ENFP, the chaotic philosopher, runs purely on enthusiasm, existential dread, and caffeine. INFP, the soulful dreamer, wants to save the world but also doesn't want to leave their room. ENFJ, the charismatic cult leader, mentor, can read people like an open book but forgets to read their own emotions. INFJ, the mysterious empath prophet. I call INFJs witches. Seriously, how do they just know things? They can read people, almost as if they're pulling thoughts straight out of their minds. It's either next level intuition or some kind of sorcery. Feels like a wise old soul trapped in a mortal body. These four see the world differently from the other MBTI types. They don't just exist in it, they analyze, deconstruct, and reconstruct reality in their heads, trying to find meaning in everything. Yes, even in that one time you texted K instead of OK. Let's start with the dreamy, poetic, artistic side of NF perception. They see deep meaning in everything. Where an SJ sees a tree, an NF sees a metaphor for resilience. Where an NT sees a problem, an NF sees an opportunity for human connection. Where an SP sees a fun experience, an NF sees a life-changing moment that will be turned into a poem at 3 a.m. It's like living life in high-definition emotion vision. Every interaction, every moment, every fleeting glance matters. It's why NFs can romanticize a 5-second conversation with a stranger and think about it for years. They experience love and friendship on a different level. NFs don't do casual when it comes to emotions. They either love you deeply or they don't bother. They intuitively understand people's emotions, sometimes before that person even does. They crave deep, soul-level connections, which is why they often feel out of place in surface-level interactions. While this makes their friendships and relationships intensely fulfilling, it also makes them prone to heartbreak and disappointment. Because, shocker, not everyone operates on this depth. They can sense vibes like a psychic, and INFJs, straight up witches. I said what I said. Ever had an NF friend randomly ask, "Are you okay?" when you were definitely pretending to be okay? Yeah, that's NF radar. ENFJs and INFJs in particular have insane pattern recognition when it comes to human behaviour. INFPs and ENFPs can literally feel other people's emotions as if they were their own. This makes NFs incredible listeners, counsellors, and therapists, whether or not they actually have the degree to back it up. But this gift is a double-edged sword. which leads us to the terrifying part. The curse of idealism. NFs are obsessed with how the world should be, which is beautiful until it crashes into reality like a truck. INFPs and ENFPs can be so romanticized in their beliefs that they ignore red flags and practical solutions. ENFJs and INFJs get frustrated when their grand plans for humanity don't match the actual messiness of people. They sometimes reject cold logic just because it doesn't feel right, even when it's objectively correct. And let's be real, some of them low-key expect the world to work on Disney movie logic, which, no. Imagine walking into a room and instantly absorbing the emotions of everyone there. NFs don't just empathize, they physically feel the tension, sadness, joy, and anxiety of those around them. This is why social burnout is real for NFs. They don't just attend a party, they absorb its entire emotional landscape, like some kind of tragic sponge. If an NT is overanalyzing a business plan, an NF is overanalyzing why their best friend took 20 minutes to text back. If someone gives them a weird look, their brain immediately goes, "Did I say something wrong? Do they secretly hate me? Am I a terrible person?" Every interaction, every facial expression, every tiny change in someone's energy gets dissected like a psychological autopsy. Because NFs prioritize depth, meaning, and emotional connection, they often feel like they're living in a world that doesn't match their inner reality. They watch people go through life with surface-level interactions and can't relate. Many NFs spend years trying to find their people because most of society isn't built for their level of emotional depth. This can lead to isolation, depression, and existential crises, which NFs, of course, turn into poetry, art, and music. So, is being an NF a superpower, or does it make life harder? Do NFs change the world, or are they just too lost in their emotions to make a real impact? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you're an NT, SJ, or SP watching this, do you get NFs, or do you think they're just dramatic? Let's debate. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with your one NF friend who absolutely needs to hear this. Alright dreamers, stay weird, stay emotional, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.